Hey, what's up, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer, bringing you, of course, another one of those comic book reviews. And today we're talking about The Walking Dead issue number 112. That's right, guys, issue 112. Mike Spider Slayer is proud to announce that I have been bringing you Walking Dead reviews since issue number 86. That's right, going back to Comic Book Corner original channel. So, now we're on issue 112, and shit's starting to brew. If you guys haven't heard that there's going to be a series that's going to be a 12-issue series based off of The Walking Dead. Obviously, it's called Walking Dead, and it'll be called All Out War. It starts, I think, with issue 115. It starts in October. It'll be released twice a month, and it's going to be all the groups going against each other. So it's going to be the Hilltop. It's going to be King Ezekiel's group. It's going to be the Saviors, which is Negan group, and it's going to be the Survivors, which is Rick group, and they're going to be all in all-out war. I don't know if they're all going to team up together. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Rick is going to team up with Negan, but it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be released twice a month, and you guys are going to be excited if you're Walking Dead fans, and at the same time, the TV show is going to be released, and it's going to be epic. I know it is, because Robert Kirkman doesn't put out shit. And this book was not shit. This was a good book. Awesome read right here. Robert Kirkman, obviously, the writer, and Charlie Adlard is the penciler, and Cliff Rathburn does all those gray tones in here. So, in the last issue, we got left off with Spencer getting his guts torn out of him, right? Blood all over the floor. Negan was like, ah, you got guts. I thought you did it. Because Spencer told Negan that Rick is a guy that wants to take over, and Spencer wanted Rick killed. So, and Negan was like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you, excuse an F-bomb. But the last thing we see is, we see Spencer lying down on freaking guts all over the floor. You're like, dude, that's crazy right there. Rick pulls up on his van, and he can see the van, and he's like, oh, Olivia, where are you? Knock, knock, who's there? Anybody home? And no one's home, no one's answering. Rick gets a little pissed off because there's a couple of zombies, trying to get at him, and he's like, "Ah, oh, crap!" And Michonne comes out of the truck, and she slices off a couple of heads, and there's a head that goes flying there, and she's like, "Dude, let me in! You gotta let me in!" Finally, open the gate. Bus comes through. Next thing we find out, it's like, "Oh my God, Heath!" I think it's Denise. Heath is like, Spencer's dead. And Rick has no idea what Spencer's agenda was. So right off the bat, you see Rick flip out on Negan. He's just like, I thought we had an agreement. And he's sitting there talking, blah, And it's like, oh my God, Rick, just chill out, dude. You have this potential thing where the groups are coming together, and you're going to take out Negan. And right away, he's sitting there flipping out. And you got to love Negan's personality. He takes over Spencer's house, and he's like, what, man? And he's drinking ice-cold water, and he's like, my arm's tired. I just played like 3 hours of pool. I mean, this is crazy. And they start going at it. They're looking at each other. And he's like, hold on. So he grabs Lucille. And Negan's holding his patience. And Rick is just completely losing it here. I mean, he's losing it. And the next thing you see is he says, Lucille, give me strength. And he's holding Lucille like right at him right here. And he's just like, Rick. He's like, how would you feel? You got to say thank you. He's like, one of your friends said that they're, want you dead and blah, blah, blah. And they were talking to each other. And then you think at the end of this issue, or by the end of it, you think that they're like good guys. Like they're going to, get along with each other. Oh, yeah, keep the stuff. Negan's like, keep all your stuff. You went through this big ordeal. And Rick's like, no, we had an agreement. He's like, you take half of it. And you think, like, Negan here is really being cordial. And you're like, okay, Rick. Like, I think Negan, just because, yeah, he killed Glen, and that's your first impression. But ever since then, he's been really trying to work at having a relationship with Rick, even though it's a little weird. But you got to understand Negan's point of view. He's just forceful so he can keep everything in check. And the next thing you see is that Negan is starting to leave, and they start driving away in this truck, and Andrew's hurrying up to this bell tower, and you see her. She's going up to this bell tower, and he's like, "This is the last chance we got to do." Rick's like, "We gotta do it. We gotta do it." And then all of a sudden, you see gunshots coming, sniper shots, bam, bam, and you're like, "Oh my God, holy crap, this is not happening right now." And you're like, "What's going to happen? Negan is going to die? What's happening?" And blam, and a couple guys are killed. And Negan's like, "Holy fuck, what the hell's going on?" Stops the truck. Next thing you see is Rick is making all this comments, and he's like, "You ever hear about the guy who brought a baseball bat to a gunfight?" And he goes, "Fucker." And you're like, "Oh my God," he's like really testing him. Next thing you see is you get Rick shot in the hand. You get to see Olivia, thing is not Olivia, it's the other girl. I forgot her name. This guy gets shot in the hand, and you get to see all of Rick's friends getting shot in the hand, and Nick's like, "I'm just losing my patience with you, Rick." And the next thing you see is that he reveals this whole plan that he comes 2 days early, 3 days later, or whatnot, and because he plans out his visits so he has snipers in the background to protect him so he doesn't get killed. And you're like, "Oh man, that is freaking crazy." And he goes, "In case you haven't noticed, you're fucking fucked, you stupid fucker." And then that's how it ends. And you're like, "Oh my God, this is insane." And Rick is really pushing his cards. It's like, why, Rick? Just stay with the plan that you originally had. Why are you going to do this? Why are you going to jeopardize the plan? Why are you going to jeopardize yourself, your friends, your community, all because, yeah, Spencer died, but you don't know the real reasoning behind it, and you don't believe in Negan whatsoever. I understand what Negan is getting at right now. I'm sad that Glen is dead, but he's got to be forceful to keep, him being in control, and that's why the way he is. Crazy stuff in this issue, and again, it's leading up into that all-out war type of thing. So I like this issue. I really did. I'm going to give this one I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5 because it's like we already know about the solicitation of all-out war, so you know that Negan's going to live, and you know that Rick's going to live. Nothing crazy is going to happen, I don't think. So if I didn't know about that all-out war, I would say this would be a perfect book because it's like, oh, what's Negan going to do now? And I don't know if he's really going to do anything yet. But it's really close to being a 5. It's a great, great book. I really enjoyed it. And for you guys that can't read Walking Dead, I'm glad that I was able to share this with you. And for you guys that have already read it, give me your comments below. What do you think of this? What do you think of the all-out war thing? And yeah, I think it's going to be great. Also, guys, look on Dark Avenger Inc. I'm going to be doing a different twist on the Walking Dead review. It's going to be called Tales of the Walking Dead, where I play Carl Grimes' son, which is Shane Grimes, who's named after Shane. And he has a big hedge clippers who names him Lori. And my mother is obviously Sophia. And I tell these stories in black and white about things that happened in the past of The Walking Dead. So check that out on Dark Avenger Inc. Dark Avenger Inc. It will be up soon. So guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And this is Mike Spider Slayer saying, until the next comic book review, I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.